Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. This week I'd like to talk about how I save money as a blue collar guy. And it sounds kind of cliche, but there's a lot of little things that I think a lot of people miss out on. And they individually they don't seem like a lot, but they do add up. So I'd like to give you 10 solid ways that I save money. And stick around to the end because I'm going to give you a few bonus methods that you can use that I personally still need to get better at and can improve on. So make sure to stay to the end of those. First and foremost, I'd say number one, my car is paid off. And I know that sounds like a lot to some people. And a lot of people are just of the mind that you have to drive a nice car. You have that having a reliable car means you have a car payment, and that's not the case. My car is almost 20 years old. I do most of my own maintenance on it myself, and it's easy and inexpensive to keep on the road. It is a Japanese car. It is reliable. It's just older and it's paid for. The reality is nobody really cares what you drive. Everybody's so busy worrying about themselves and getting through their day-to-day life. No one cares what you drive. And, you know, if they do, they're probably not the type of people that you really want in your life anyway. Like I said, you know, older cars are cheaper. They're easier to maintain. They're also cheaper to insure. So keep that in mind. And you don't have to carry comprehensive on them either. You can just do the minimum that's required by your state, and you come out doing pretty well on that. Number two, I don't have the latest and greatest phone. There's tons of new features out there with some of these phones, and they're kind of mostly gimmicks. I have an iPhone 13 mini. I like a small phone. And it's done me great since about 2022 when I got it. There are a few features in some of the new phones that I wouldn't mind having. And over time, the batteries in smartphones degrade, but it seems like every street corner you look at, there's someone offering to fix your phone. So if you do want to put a new battery in it, you can do that, or you can have it done, or you can learn how to do it right here on YouTube. It's not that hard. So I'd say number three is I don't buy a lot of clothes. I watch and read. There's a couple of guys on YouTube, and they have their own blog. They're called the Minimalists, and I'm by no means a perfect minimalist, but I do subscribe to some of their ideas. And if you listen to them, they'll tell you that they kind of adopted a uniform for their clothing on the daily. And so my uniform would be, you know, a pair of good jeans, a pair of boots. I usually wear my work boots on my days off because they're utilitarian and they get the job done no matter what I'm doing. I can walk in them, I can work in them, I can relax in them. They're comfortable. So like I said, I don't really have the need to, in my current life, impress anyone. I do have nice clothes. I have a suit that I wear when I have to. But for the most part, day to day, I dress the exact same. And again, nobody cares. Nobody's looking at you. It doesn't matter. And in the blue collar line of work, you know, I set out to go buy work clothes, and then I realized that I spent too much money on those. So those become my nice clothes. And when my nice clothes start to wear out, they become my work clothes. So that's just kind of the natural order of things. You know, you start to get a little bit threadbare, then you wear them to work, and then you go buy new clothes for your days off. But they're pretty much all the same. Now, number four is going to be a big one, and I see it a lot. And it doesn't seem like a lot on a daily basis, but it really adds up. And that is, I don't eat out hardly at all. And the reasons for that are multiple. One, I'm trying to save money. But the big one for me also is I want to be healthy. The majority of the foods that you're going to get out are just overpriced slop. They're cooked in seed oils. God knows how they're handled. You just don't know what you get. So if you go grocery shopping every week and you intentionally buy certain foods and prepare them at home, it's much cheaper, much healthier, and it's going to save you a ton of money in the long run. I see guys, they get to work and they picked up food on the way for breakfast, and then lunchtime rolls around and they're gone. They're out and they come back with some greasy thing in a bag, and then they got no time to eat it because they spent their entire lunch break going to buy something which costs gas, and you have to pay for the food. And if you think about it, 10, 15 bucks every single day. I personally, my lunches, I eat very healthy and I eat really well, and they come out cheaper because I prepare them at home from groceries. And I spend a good chunk of Sunday meal prepping for the first half of my week, and then my evenings are free. I get home, I go from work straight to the gym, and I get home and the rest of my night is mine because my lunch and my breakfast are prepared for the next day. So it works out pretty well. The other thing, number 5, I'd say, and I kind of need to work on this a little bit as well, is make coffee at home. There's at $5, $6, $7, $8 a pop sometimes for coffee. Again, I see guys showing up every morning with a Starbucks or Dutch Brothers or BlackRock or whatever. And it costs a fortune. It adds up. Sometimes I do it on the weekend as kind of a treat when I'm out and about. But for the most part, just buy coffee beans and make your own coffee at home. And you can get fancy at home if you drink fancy coffee. I personally just take mine black. And I can make cold brew at home as well, just in mason jars. It's not a big deal. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but it does add up. So that's the other thing. And stay away from energy drinks if you can. They're expensive as well, and those are basically a science experiment. I don't trust what's in those things. There's a ton of sugar, and if they don't use sugar, they'll use 3 other ingredients that use a similar name. It's sugar. And it's all terrible for you. If you need energy, drink coffee. Better yet, get your coffee out of the way in the morning, but eat better food. Stay away from sugar. Eat food that's high in protein, high in fat, low carbohydrate. You're not going to crash. You're going to have better energy all day anyway. I'm usually good with a cup or 2 of coffee in the morning. I don't touch it the rest of the day because it messes with my sleep. Okay, number 6, tobacco. Now, I personally started smoking when I was in high school, and that lasted for 6 years. I was up to a pack a day. I switched to smokeless tobacco, and I've been free of that now for 12 years, almost 13 years, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. It's expensive. You don't need it. People will tell you that nicotine is a nootropic. It's good for your brain. There's probably some science that supports that, but there's a lot of other ways to support a healthy brain rather than using nicotine. So, and that includes Zyn. I see Zyn, it's probably the most popular thing on job sites. There's little pouches lying around everywhere, cans, people are throwing all their cans everywhere. People that I would never ever look at and think of as a tobacco user are using Zyn. And that is just a testament to how powerful that marketing is on that stuff. And it goes back to, if you watch my last 3 videos on addiction, it's the utmost form of control, and there is nobody out there who wants to control you more than the alcohol and the tobacco companies. So just quit. Do yourself a favor. It's hard, but it's well worth it. I did it. It sucked, but you can do it too, I promise. 7, cancel any streaming services that you don't use. Go ahead and take a long, hard look at the ones that you do use and see if those are even necessary. I personally got rid of Netflix. I got rid of Hulu, Disney Plus. Again, I don't have kids, so but they add up, and I found myself being a bachelor and being busy. I just wasn't using them, and a lot of the stuff on them isn't that good anyway. So they kind of rely on the fact that they're just nickel and diming you. Oh, it's only $6 a month, $10 a month, whatever. You forget about them pretty soon. You look at your bank statement and you got $100 a month just going out the window from streaming services that you're not even using. So just take a good look at those, and maybe if you got some extra time on your hands, devote it to hobbies. Learn something, read a book, do something that's going to improve your life rather than just grazing on whatever, I mean, you could be watching some pretty cool stuff. There are some good shows out there, but personally, I don't have the time, and I'd much rather be working on improving myself anyway. So that was number 7. Number 8 goes back to the vehicles. Do your own maintenance. If you have a car, if you have a truck, if you have motorcycles, jet skis, whatever, any kind of toy. What I do on my phone, on my notes app, I start with the year, make, and model of whatever it is, and then the VIN, and then I go through the owner's manual and I start writing down specs. I write down what kind of oil, the capacity, how often it needs to be changed, just different things that they spec out in the owner's manual, so I have it as a quick reference guide. Part numbers at auto parts stores for commonly used items like filters, spark plugs, things like that, so when you're at the store you can just quickly reference them. I do that for every one of my vehicles, and it makes a big difference. I also keep track of the odometer and when they need their next oil change. So if you can master that and just make sure that if you own it, you can work on it, you're going to save a lot of money. And if I can't work on something, I typically won't buy it, because it's annoying to have to rely on somebody else to take care of something that's mine. So do all your own maintenance if you can. Number 9, when you're thinking about buying something, use what I like to call the 48-hour rule. Sleep on it for a couple of days. If it's on Amazon, put it in your cart. Let it sit there. 9 times out of 10 when I do that, a couple days later, the thing that I wanted, I don't really want anymore. Or I found a workaround, I found something else I can use in place of it, or something I can repurpose to do what I need to do. There's a lot of stuff that's just junk. It's just crap, and you already have something like it. And if you buy it, it might just end up in the drawer with the rest of them. So just keep that in mind. The other thing with us is, we'll get raises. I personally, we negotiate a new contract, and my wages go up, hopefully every year. That doesn't mean you need to go out and buy a new car or a bigger house or spend more money eating out. Sure, you can go celebrate. I do it. But don't inflate your lifestyle because your paycheck inflated, because it might go back down. You never know. Times are kind of shaky right now. So take any extra money you have and just invest it. And invest it in something that maybe ideally you can pull back out. Stock market, crypto, anything like that. Just make sure that you still have access to it and make sure it's a wise decision, but don't blow the extra money that you come across in your life. Make it work for you. So that was number 10. Now for the 3 bonus strategies, and these are stuff that I need to work on as well, and so I thought I'd share those with you. When you're looking into a new hobby, watch out for what they call GAS, or gear acquisition syndrome, where you're taking on a new hobby and you got to go get everything for it. And a lot of times you end up getting the best things for it as well. And sometimes you don't even stick with the hobby. I got a set of golf clubs out in my shed. I've been golfing twice. It's not really for me. So probably should get rid of those. Probably shouldn't have spent money on them in the first place. Camping gear, backpacking gear, hunting gear, whatever you're, fishing, whatever you're taking on, maybe go in cheap, maybe buy used, maybe borrow if you can, until you're really sure that that's going to be a big part of your life, because hobbies come and go, and sometimes they aren't there for the long run, and then you're left with a bunch of stuff that you don't use and you lost money on. So that's something that I personally need to work on as well. It's been a thing, so just watch out for that. Another thing is impulse purchases on Amazon. Now, I came up with a rule a few months ago that I wasn't going to buy any new material goods. And I primarily just use Amazon now for the stuff that I consume. Think like supplements, food items that I can't find at my local grocery store that I don't want to spend a ton of money driving around trying to find. I'll just order them. But they're consumables. They're stuff that you're gonna eat, drink, use up otherwise, but they're not gonna take up a bunch of space in your house. So just be mindful of that. You don't have to be a minimalist, but you don't need a bunch of stuff lying around that you're not going to use. So that was probably number 2. The other one, I might get some pushback on this, but haircuts. I just got a haircut last weekend at my barber. It's $50 with a tip. And he does a great job. Does the beard, does the hair, touches up my old man eyebrows, neck shave, hot towel, the whole thing. Great barber. And I feel like I get my money's worth. But you know me well enough by now that I always wear a hat. And I'm on a construction site. So in the morning I go from a hat to a hard hat and back to a hat. Nobody cares what your hair looks like. So with that being said, if you're not trying to impress anybody, it may be something that you want to maybe learn yourself. I have a set of clippers that I got about 5 years ago. So we all know what happened then. And maybe I need to give it a shot and try to be better at doing that myself. So anyway, I know it was a long one today. I appreciate you watching. That's all I got for now. Let me know in the comments, how do you save money? What do you think you could improve on? And if there's any other suggestions that you have for me. Also, what's a non-negotiable? What are you just not willing to give up in today's society? What is a comfort item for you that you're just not going to skimp on? So, as always, I appreciate you watching, and I really appreciate a like and subscribe. It means a lot. It helps me out. I'm a small channel, and I'm trying to get a foothold out here on YouTube. So, as always, thank you again, and thanks for watching. Have a good day.